The Woodlands Health and Rehab Center is the right choice for rehab at home. Our therapy department, with the assistance of our experienced clinical team, will transition you home quickly and safely. The Woodlands Health and Rehab Center, living made better.
The Allegheny Journal has found Bill Wilson here on Tuesday talking about the VDOT project and extension. How many miles is this, Bill?
It's approximately 10 miles.
About 10 miles.
Basically, Route 43, which is near Eagle Rock, to very close to the Iron Gate town line.
And so, although this won't end up a 4-lane project, you indicated previously that this is a pretty good compromise where you'll have a substantially wider pair of lanes and also some shoulders. What's your view about that?
I think they label it as a safety project, which it is, and it will straighten the highway to some extent. It'll widen the highway to some extent. It will widen the shoulders, and it will improve safety. But it's like good news, bad news. It's good because we're getting a very much improved 2-lane road. And the bad part is that the 4-lane divided highway, which was promised to us in the 80s, it was approved, it was designed, it was engineered, and the 4-lane, some of the 4-lane right-of-way was purchased. All that was done. It was an accomplished fact, but times have changed.
As an experienced legislator, I guess you know things can happen.
You know, things change, the money has dried up a little bit, and one big problem, and it's pretty hard to get your mind around, but the line between the Salem VDOT district is right through Iron Gate, and so we on this side are in the Stanton district. The project is in the Salem district. Sometimes we didn't cross that line as much as we should have.
Well, it looks from the slides that VDOT presented here today that you somehow found about $80 million. So, I mean, that's a pretty nice chunk of change, isn't it?
As they say, that ain't chicken feed. But the good thing about tonight is they've crossed the line. VDOT has come out of Salem, crossed the line at Iron Gate, and they are right here at Dabney Lancaster Community College in a public hearing. That is big news as far as I'm concerned. It puts out people, it gets us in the mix.
Are there any major questions that you don't believe have been addressed by VDOT with this project? Are there any major portions of this project that you think are unanswered at this point?
Well, the big unanswered question, and I was talking to some older people over here a few minutes ago, and we decided we weren't going to live to see a 4-lane divided highway. But that concept is sound. It's good. I mean, if the Allegheny Highlands is going to grow and develop and do what it can do, we've got to be tied to that Roanoke community with a 4-lane divided highway. And I know I'm wearing that subject out, but that's got to happen.
At least in the short term, when this project is finished, do you believe that major truck traffic, the major heavy-duty traffic that would help fuel that growth, are you confident that the ease of that flow will be bettered by this project?
Clearly it will. West Rock generates a lot of tractor-trailer traffic, and we've had I don't know how many accidents on this stretch of highway that we're talking about. I think with the improvement in the highway, not only will it make things safer, but it's going to generate more traffic on that highway, because tractor trailers and other vehicles will want to use it more so than they do now. A lot of traffic will go up 81 and come back down 64 rather than come across that dangerous piece of highway.
There is no solution to the question of what happens at Iron Gate, is there? There was never a decision to hey, we're up to Iron Gate, let's slide over through Higgins Hollow. When you get to Iron Gate, is that the end of the ball game, or is there? Can you give the public any feel for what happens after that point?
A lot of people think, and I agree, that the jam up on this project was because they couldn't get through Iron Gate, and I think VDOT they became disgusted with it, and I think they just decided they put their money elsewhere. I don't know of any way to get around Iron Gate, and my guess is that what they'll end up doing in the long run is they'll do an improved two-lane right through the middle of Iron Gate, and how they get through the gorge is going to be another trick. But my guess is they'll just improve that and just patch it through until they get to I-64, and I don't think they're going to be able to do much better.
It might be a safe bet to say that your hair, and mine as well, might be significantly whiter before that avenue through Iron Gate Gorge is finished.
I think you made a good point.
Well, overall, your efforts, your personal efforts, as well as your associates, looks about to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $150 million when you consider all these improvements from Eagle Rock up to Iron Gate. Is that about right?
Well, it started out being $150 million.
Okay.
We're now talking about $80 million.
So it's $80 million.
It's $80 million is what they're talking about now. And I think the balance of that was cut off by what they call House Bill 2, which sets up criteria, one of which is traffic count, which we don't have enough of to justify.
So that's what happened in the legislature.
That's what happened.
Thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you for all you do.